Welcome back to the channel. Today it is time to bring the '08 Magnum that has been sitting on the side of the shop back from the dead. There's quite a few things that I need to do to convert it and put the HELLCAT swap in it, but I want to get everything done correctly. I want to paint the engine bay, and there's a lot of things that I need to convert, as well as I want to undercoat the car because Dodge really didn't protect these well from the factory, and I kind of want to mitigate the rust issues. This car doesn't have any rust because we don't use salt here, and it's a pretty dry climate. I had a 73 Celica that had very little rust, and it's been sitting in a tow yard for like 40 years. So I actually got this '08 Dodge Magnum from a subscriber. This ended up being towed in a police tow yard, and then it went off to police auction. A subscriber bought it. He pulled all the interior out for his police Magnum, so it had normal interior in it, and then he sold it to me. So now I've had it sitting here for quite some time. I ended up using some pieces off of it for my other Charger, HELLCAT, Magnum, wagon, whatever you want to call it. And now it's a pretty decent shell. It needs some body work here and there. Those side moldings right there definitely need to come off. I want to end up converting the side skirts as well as the rear bumper. I want to get this thing done, get all of the HELLCAT drivetrain put in it, which is very simple, and get everything wired up, which is also very simple on these. So let's get her into the shop. We have two tires that have air in them, and then these two on the side that is hard to get to. For some reason they went flat. Wah, wah. There we go. I don't know what was really going on there, but I now have the rear half of the underneath of the Magnum sanded, ready for undercoating. I did drop the fuel tank, but one thing I want to caution you guys about is if you are getting a used car and you want to get it started and it's sat a long time, like this car, it was probably sitting a lot longer than I've had it because it sat at an apartment complex. I got towed by the police, then somebody bought it from the police auction, then I've had it, so it's probably been sitting for 5+ years. This is what happens with bad gas and wire sheathing. So as you can see, these two are the power wires and they're touching. If you just went and put new gas in this tank or siphoned out the bad gas, put new gas in it, right when you try to start the car up, these two wires would be touching, they would get hot and they would glow or start a spark, whatever, and it could light a fire inside the tank and then start a fire from your fuel tank. So just kind of a caution that you want to make sure that if you have had your car sitting for a long time, especially with the plastic tanks, that you check this, because if there's bad gas in it, the bad gas becomes really corrosive, and as you can see, it just eats away the sheathing down to bare wire. Look at that, just crumbles in my hands now. So just a caution. I was replacing the pumps with HELLCAT pumps anyway. I don't know, they poke a little bit. They be poking. Almost got me. Eric, what do you got for me?
Custom
Eric. He changed it a little bit. It's a factory Dodge color, but it's a little bit more flaky. Can't really tell the camera, but I think it's gonna look good.
It's sweet. There we go, sprayed out.
Ooh. Yeah, Eric has it sprayed out. Now you can give me the card finally. Oh yeah. I like all the dirt in there.
Mm-hmm.
Eric special?
Eric special. No charge for that, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know if that camera will pick that up.
Yeah, it doesn't. Well, it just sees like the lines from the LEDs. See them? Mm-hmm. It's hard to get like paint on camera, like the colors. They don't look the same as they do in real life.
No, not at all.
Just got everything I think that I need to finish undercoating the front half of the car and painting the engine bay. This is like $600 worth of stuff, maybe a little bit more. unfinished undercoating. This thing looks amazing. It looks like a brand new car. I say this every time I Raptor anything on a car. I'm just like, man, they should do this from the factory. Look at this. It looks like a brand new car. Look at that trans tunnel. The whole underneath of the car looks like that, as well as the wheel wells in the front and the back. And I cannot wait to have the engine and transmission in here. So what I need to do now is I need to get the brake lines, fuel lines, and evap line all put in, ABS pump put in, brake lines on this side put in. Then we can mount the engine and transmission in the car with the subframe. I made a ton of progress on the red HELLCAT Magnum, and I really love these cars and love these swaps just because they're really simple, they're really straightforward. The way I do it makes it a little bit less straightforward, but then when you swap everything in, it's all a bolt-in swap, which is really nice. The one thing I love about these is once you put newer drivetrain in them, it's like a night and day difference going from either variant of the V6 or the 6.1, which all those engines and transmissions had a ton of problems. The 6.1 had camshaft or lifter issues or head gasket issues or rod bearing issues. And then the V6s were plagued with a bunch of issues, not to mention all the issues with the transmissions and the rear differentials and the drive shafts. You put a new swap in these things and it's like a brand new car. Well, it technically is a brand new car because the swap has 22,000 miles on it. And then it's actually fast. Plus, I like this a lot better than the Challenger or the Charger. There's more room. it's more rigid, or it seems more rigid, just because I believe the hatch structure, and it hooks up a lot better because of that. I took my old Scat Pack Swap Magnum to Race Week, and Race Week is a race where you go to a bunch of different tracks and you have to drive to each one of those tracks, and I think it's like 2,500 or 3,000 miles total, and it's pretty unforgiving. And my Scat Pack Swap Magnum ran consistent 13s the whole time with 0 issues in AC, which was awesome. So this is going to be a night and day difference because it's going to have more power, and I can't wait to actually drive that. Plus I drifted the old, what was it, the 07, I believe it was an 07 Scat Pack Swap Magnum, and it drifted great. It was just a lot better than the Challenger Hellcat when I was driving it, and it just seemed a lot more dialed in for some reason. I think it might be because they should be the same length as a Charger, but I just think it's because of that extra structure where the hatch is above the rear wheels. It just really reinforces it. If you go back here and look, you can see that it's a lot more boxed in over this area, and then this area has this big hoop that connects in that the Charger doesn't. Plus it also has this structure right here, which is thick, that goes all the way back around. The Charger doesn't have that, and the Challenger doesn't have that either. So I think it just makes it a lot more dialed in and makes it a lot more kind of planted when you're going around a track, road course, drag strip, or drift event. So can't wait to drive this car because it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with it. I'm probably going to start off with daily driving it, and probably by the end of the year, once it's painted and all the upgrades are done to it, and I'm kind of tired of it, I'm going to probably end up doing a giveaway on this car. So I'm going to be figuring out what front end I'm going to put on it. I really do like the old 08 Magnum front end. I'll probably end up leaving that on there for a while just because it's going to be a sleeper and nobody's really going to expect it. It's going to be fun to troll people with this old Magnum because most of the time they're slow, and once you put a Scat Pack swap in them, which is I think like 450 wheel, this is going to be like 650 wheel. This is going to be a ton more fun than the Scat Pack Swap Magnum. And then everything, how I do it, as you guys saw, I pretty much redo all of the tubs and a bunch of other stuff, so everything just really bolts in. And I'll end up painting the crash bar the same color when I paint the rest of the car, actually probably before that. But and then when I figure out what front end I'm gonna do, I'll be putting that radiator support in, and then I'll get the bumper. I have an idea of what front end I want to do on this, but I'm not 100% sure. So I can't wait. I can't wait to actually finally first drive this car, because it's going to be a lot different than driving the blue Hellcat Magnum, because it's going to be rear wheel drive and it'll be totally different. I'll be able to do some nasty burn-offs and donuts in it, but yeah, it'll be so much fun to actually drive this thing. And I also converted a bunch of stuff on the interior so we can put all the newer carpets in there. Thinking about offering kind of a service, but it's not really a service. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do it, so I'll have to think, but I need to get another Magnum so I could do it, and then get one of these swaps ready, and probably just, I don't know, just if I should give them away or if I should just sell them. I mean, either way, I would be able to get rid of them, and it would be fun, and it'd be content, and then they'd be done correctly, and there wouldn't be any issues later on down the road. Plus all this stuff just bolts in, and there's nothing like just hacked together, which I've seen on a lot of these swaps. So I really want to do a red eye one, which would be cool. One reason this isn't running and driving is I robbed some parts for my blue HELLCAT Magnum, so I need to get fuel rails. I have some 1050Xs. I'm probably going to do some upgrades on this. I have a smaller pulley, so I'll probably do the smaller pulley, 1050Xs, HP tuners, ECU, maybe dial it into almost 800 horsepower, and maybe do something with the chiller and do stuff like that. But besides that, and maybe some suspension stuff, I've been talking to Parker at AAD Performance. I want to get some arms done, but I wanted them to be gold, so everything's gold. And then we'll figure a bunch of stuff out, figure out if I'm going to keep these wheels. I actually really do like these wheels, and I think they'll look a lot better with the gold. As you can see, there's some gold right there. I think they'll look really good with the gold. It'll look a lot better with the newer front end on it, but I do like this older front end because it's kind of a sleeper, and then I could just kind of go around and troll people, because most of the time these Magnums are pretty slow, and people won't expect it unless they see these huge silver Brembos right here. So I'm gonna end the video here. If you like these videos, make sure to click the subscribe button, throw a thumbs up, share this video with a friend, and as always, see you guys next time.